Okay, so I don't remember how all this went in PB. I don't think we got bird right away. I think we had to wait. Yeah, we ended up having to wait, which is unfortunate. And I'm still not doing DSTA. I'm doing it manually. And then I had to do it manually there because I had already been too far on my time zones and had forgotten to reset them. But that would save me 15 seconds right there. Easy. Or more. And yeah, that was definitely the wrong way. Look at all the time we could have saved. If we would have just done anything right. I don't know how in the hell this PB'd by so much, you know? Because with DSTA and then all my minor mess ups, that's at least 30 seconds. Plus that bullet mess up there. And then we jumped too far, which caused us to mess up there. It worked out in the end, but that's not what we're really looking for, especially when we're trying to get sub 110. That is our goal, by the way, is 110. Which we're pretty good for that, I think. Sum of best after this run was 114 something. So we only need to get our sum of best down another 5 minutes or so, and then just run our sum of best and we'll be good. Okay, so I lied. This whole kingdom was complete trash. Bonks everywhere. But it's okay. Still got plenty of time to improve. Tyrone didn't get to where he's at, you know, in just a day. It took him at least 2 days. God, what is that movement? Why? Okay, so I think this movement's really smooth. I don't know how optimal. Like, I feel like we could save a couple fractions of a second here and there. But I do really like the beginning of this kingdom. Like this, I think I could have went into first-person view and gotten the prompt sooner, I think. Don't quote me on that, though. Now that was entirely smooth. I think it might have still been faster just to go back into a roll instead of a long jump, but that was still pretty hot. And of course, I'm never gonna get Flower Road skip. And I don't think we went for this skip either. I'd been having trouble with it all day and resetting right here, so figured I would take it safe since I was actually quite a bit ahead of PB already. Okay, so that wasn't terrible. At least we didn't fall or hit a cloud unnecessarily. We just didn't go for the one that we typically get. Although that movement's real slow too. I think I need to start doing a roll cancel and hit that first cloud. I think is how that's supposed to work. But at least we got the 2 quick caps, which is much better than what we normally do. Did we get a 3rd quick cap? we didn't. Kinda did. Sorta. So really, this fight didn't go too bad. I mean, obviously, there's still room to improve. But there really isn't a whole lot of time left to save here. I have a 209 Cloud, which I think's the new PB. I don't know what a good cloud is, but I don't think there's much time to save. Now lost, where all good runs go to die. So we had very bad movement there. That's not my typical movement. But it worked, so I guess I'm not too upset. My PB for Lost is a 220, which again, where I split is different. So I may be adding seconds there that wouldn't normally be added. Although there is plenty of room for faster movement, obviously. I mean, we need to do cage triple and everything eventually. Not too terribly worried about that. This is still good for a sub 110 eventually. Alright, let's see how this goes. So we actually got our roll there. It's not something that we normally do, which is why this movement's kind of wonky. I mean, that movement, there's no excuse, but still. And we had been getting the initial jump and then not having to throw to the side. But for some reason, I have not been able to get that since. And then we're having all kinds of problems there. My PB, or not my PB, but I guess my best Night Metric Kingdom gets that in one shot. So we still need a little bit better movement there, obviously. Need to figure out my visual cue to back up and jump so we don't have to do all that awkward movement. Still don't know how to get that platform. I'm just aiming incredibly wrong, apparently. But at least I've started getting that consistently without too much effort. So here we end up doing bullet building. I know bullet building is not... it's not really any faster at my level. But I figure if we start learning it now, we can make it faster at my level. And overall, it feels easier. I don't know, it just feels easier, feels smoother. Definitely less cutscenes. So it feels faster even if it's not. And it was a change of pace, so. But I figure if we learn it now and get used to it now, eventually we can do the thing that we need to do. And then I think I need to stop going directly this way. Somehow I saved that, I don't know how. But I ended up diving off the side usually and bonking, which wastes a bunch of time, so I think I need to approach that slightly differently. Take a look at some other people's. Okay, so the movement here is definitely suspect. I did figure out if you start off rolling, it's better than spin pounding. And then that wasn't too bad, except for I went the wrong direction. I overcorrected, or I kept my momentum and continued the wrong direction. So overall, I guess that wasn't terrible. Just look at the pace I'm on right now. Right now, I'm on a 1:17 pace. A full minute faster than what this run ends up being. And I think I lose quite a bit of it here in snow. Definitely need to get to where the shopkeeper, where I don't move so much. I end up moving way too far. I know you can move well before you can see Mario. Which means you should be able to talk to them at least pretty much as instantly if you line up right. If I would just shift my camera angle there to start with, it would probably work out way better. And then the upcoming moon, I've gotten moon clip a couple different times, but definitely not consistent with it yet. And I didn't get a backflip there. That's the reason why we didn't get the clip. I thought we ended up getting the backflip, but I was sadly mistaken. In this room, oh god, this room. I need to do some ILs of just this room. Because I can never make it to that platform in time. I don't know how everybody else does. And then, of course, you see what happens there. Land on the X. Land on the X. Alright, now for the Goomba room. Don't spin pound there. Definitely don't spin pound there. Whatever you do. I said don't. I never listen to myself. Oh, don't die, Goomba. Okay, never mind. I thought we had killed the Goomba. And I'm still not brave enough to do the long jump there, which is kind of sad, really. Yep, right over the moon. See, if I had a better control over Mario, I could probably shave off another 2 minutes easy. You can see my visible frustration. Seaside. Another kingdom that I have way too much trouble with. And I think we learned there that the camera doesn't seem to want to turn right away. So I've got to start my movement there before I can move my camera. Now that wasn't too bad. I mean, it could have been better. The initial dive could have been right into a spin pound, but for the most part that was clean. And we take those. This one I think we had a bunch of trouble with because I was already off angle anyway. Really like to know what Mario was hitting there. If Mario can hit geometry, he typically does, in my experience. And then, of course, we had issues with our down throw. Did we actually... It looks like we stomped on the fish and then still captured it. So I guess that's plus a few points. Yeah, we did. We stomped on it and almost killed it. Oh, that would have been so bad. But with as much trouble as I have in this kingdom, sometimes it's really only a few different things. It's usually the initial jump, the initial camera angle, and then jump to that moon, and then the moon in the alcove, and then the fish clip. Not the fish clip itself, but the moon that you get that you can possibly clip into the wall, but I'm always scared that I'm going to clip into the wall, so I end up taking it too slow, and then I usually end up clipping anyway. I think I ended up having some problems here, but I don't typically have these problems. This was just nerves that I noticed that I was already losing time. But at least this movement's a little smoother now that I know I can just swim down. But then I get too close, and we almost clipped in here. We managed to stay out, but we almost clipped in. And then I lose my bearings. Anytime I almost clip, I lose where I'm at. All right, up next, luncheon. So this, I typically go for a backflip off of this, but for the last umpteen times I've done it, backflipping off of that just doesn't seem to work for me. And I know it's because I'm not waiting long enough, or I'm waiting too long. But backflips are usually bad for me. Unfortunately, I know the triple jump there is slower. I need to just learn salt triple and then call it a day, really. No, we did the lava bubble here, okay. I think we did the lava bubble here, and then we're gonna do the lava jump. And the reason why I opted to do the lava jump is because at least it seems a little bit more consistent. I don't have to worry about trying to get the right movement with the lava bubble to get the slope jumps. And in all honesty, that movement can be quicker getting up there. But for me, this is roughly the same as getting a good lava bubble. But it's a little bit more consistent. You know, I can always get the lava jumps, whereas the lava bubble getting the lava slope jumps are kind of sus. All right, so this upcoming movement, I usually have a whole lot of problems with. This time, I think we end up getting it. Obviously, it's not perfect movement, but I mean, I will take that over having to redo the jump 3 or 4 times. At this point, we had been doing a few Bowser ILs, and I believe we also incorporated some new... Oops. But we tried some new tech here with Harriet. We also skipped that first moon there at the beginning in favor of the moon behind the crates in the last section. We had been practicing the Harriet fight with the new tech of throwing the cap behind the bombs and attacking her that way. We opted not to do the floating bombs, if I recall correctly, just because we're too inconsistent at it. That was pretty scary there, forgetting that checkpoint, or missing it, because I have fallen here before, and that sends you way back. Definitely need to learn the movement of not jumping there. and instead opting to jump around instead of up. So nothing too fancy here. Obviously some movement optimization, but for the most part, it seems to be better than what I have been running. All right, so up next is our Harriet fight. Harriet and Topper. Topper first, obviously. Anybody who doesn't do Topper first is wrong. At least until I change my mind, that is. So here is the new strats so far. I still want to get the floating bomb. It would help speed up the fight, obviously. But at least this is all fairly consistent. Not sure how we're missing a bomb here. How we're missing Harriet with a bomb. Because it should be hitting her. Because I think we get it the second time around. But this is definitely a faster fight than what I have been doing. So I think what happened is I'm too low in the second phase. I need to be up just a little higher. It's more 3/4 of the way up that line, whereas the first phase is 3/4 of the way down the line. All right, up next is the moon behind the crates. Movement isn't too terrible, but we're still just learning this. This isn't, obviously this isn't optimal movement, but it's better than what we was doing, I think. And that moon is faster. I don't know how much faster, though. Definitely not faster when you screw all that up, but... And then, of course, I think we're going to grab the flag here. Since it's a free instant refill. We had also been practicing mech. I don't remember if we got a no-fall mech here or not. And we had been jumping up the leg, but obviously we didn't get it here. I have gotten it several times before, though, so it will be coming in the runs, for sure. So all of our practicing kind of went down the tubes here. It was a very bad mech fight. We could have saved a bunch of time. We should have been done with mech by now. We could have been done with mech at 109. The only reason why we're not losing time just yet is because we had a much better Harriet fight. And even with this bad fight here, I think we still ended up saving time. And that's just how much better my Harriet fight has been in the PB versus typical. All right, so the movement here, we employ the vectoring. It's a bad vector, don't get me wrong, but it's still probably quicker than the roll boost long jump. Because anytime you long jump, you're actually losing more time than you think you're gaining. It puts you at a much faster speed than you would normally get, but it caps and it's actually slower than if you just rolled or had some good vectoring. At least we didn't spin pound there. We've learned our lesson. So there's that. And then I think we had an okay Bowser fight. No, we did not. Never mind. I take that back. Then I don't know if there's a set pattern for this or not. I have gotten it to where Bowser likes to jump and turn around and spitfire at me again. So I don't know if he turns in a predetermined direction. I imagine it's probably predetermined from where you hit him to. So if you hit him back this way, then he comes out facing what way? Comes out facing roughly the direction. No, because then he turns that way. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if there's like a set pattern or something that I'm missing. Not that it matters too much as long as I don't cause him to turn around and jump and spitfire. All right, now for escape. This escape, I'm pretty sure went pretty well. Although I've said that, and then I cringe because it did not go pretty well. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm right this time. Batting 1,000 here. Okay, so this is pretty good. I do remember getting the triple jump here in the fireball. And then I'm pretty sure we went for 2D skip, and I think we got it. Not that it's that hard, but I had been avoiding it for the longest time because I've actually died doing it a couple different times, which cost me PBs back in the day. Granted, they would have only been, 40-second PBs, but they would have been PBs, damn it. But now I think we're at least have enough control to continue doing that. Although we will never be doing XD skip. So I'm sorry for all you XD fans out there. All right, so pillars. Pillars we did really well on, I think. We even got some fast fireballs here, although only one of them hit because, angles and perception. In our hearts, we hit them all, but, that doesn't count. However, I do know that coming up, we ended up getting that pillar without actually going all the way to it. I think we get a few fireballs there that we're pretty sure hits, and then it does, so. And then, of course, we could do a little bit better there. I hear getting into the corners is way better, so that's something we need to do. But then, of course, we PB here. 1853. GG's.